Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Meet Praneeth. In today's video, we are going to discuss the April Visa Bulletin. Now, in this Visa Bulletin, there were changes for both the family-based category and the employment-based category. So we'll discuss both of these. So stay tuned and let's dive into this April Visa Bulletin together. So before starting with the family-based visas or green card, let's see what each of these categories are. So there are four categories: F1, F2, F3, and F4. F1 is for unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens. F2 is for spouses. F2A is for spouses and children of permanent residents. F2B is for unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents. F3 is for married sons and daughters of United States citizens. And F4 is brother and sisters of adult US citizens. So these are the four categories in family-based green cards. Now let's see what has changed for these category from the March Visa Bulletin to the April Visa Bulletin. The first and the very striking change that you will see has only happened for the F2A category. Now F2A category is for wives or the spouse and the children of permanent residents. And it was current, the final action chart was current in the March Visa Bulletin, but it has retrogressed by 2 years in the April Visa Bulletin. So what I'm seeing is from F2A, it was current throughout for all the countries like ROW, China, India, Mexico, and Philippines. But if I look at the April Visa Bulletin and on your screen, you can see that F2A has retrogressed by almost 2 years for like ROW, China, India, and Philippines. But for Mexico, it has almost retrogressed to 4 years, which is now November 18. So that's really bad news. That means the numbers of visas that are allotted for the family-based are being used up pretty quickly, and USCIS has kind of come to a conclusion that there would be retrogression in F2A, which is spouses and children of permanent residents. Now, it could be that this retrogression could be picked up, and the reason why I'm saying that is if you go to the date of filing, which will be on your screen in a second, you can see that the date of filing is still current for this category, F2A, which was of concern. So that means that USCIS is saying that you can still go ahead and file your application, but they'll not be able to issue you a green card until your priority date becomes current with the final action date. So that was one of the major changes that happened in the family-based category. So just to summarize, we saw that there is a retrogression of almost 2 years for F2A for all the countries, except for Mexico. It is almost 2018 now. But the date of filing is current, which is good, which makes kind of sense and tells us that this retrogression might be covered quickly in the coming years. Now let's discuss the employment-based category. So coming to the final action charts, it's very evident that nothing has changed for EB1, which indeed is a good news. That means USCIS is at the current moment is not seeing any further retrogression in EB1. Now for EB2, things have changed. For ROW, the rates have retrogressed. Now from November 1, 2022, it has moved to 1st July 2022, so almost 5 months back. Then for China, it remains the same. For India, there's a bad news because it has moved to 1st Jan 2011, almost 9 months of retrogression, further retrogression. For Mexico, again, the same as ROW, from 1st November 2022, it has moved to 1st July 2022. And for Philippines, again, the same story. For EB3, not much change, except China moved ahead by 3 months. For other workers, again, not much changed, except again China moved almost by 3 or 4 months. And then coming to fourth, that is where we see a lot of retrogression. Now for fourth, and USCIS mentions that there would be a retrogression because of the huge demand in other categories. So we see that EB4, there is a 4 years of retrogression for ROW. From 1st Feb 2022, it moved to September 18. Similarly for China. For India, from 1st March 2021 to September 18. Then again, Mexico, it moved by almost 2 years back, like 1st August 2020 to 1st September 2018. And for Philippines, for almost 4 years, same as the ROW. So that clearly shows that EB4 is further retrogressed. EB1 remains steady. EB2, retrogressions can be seen, except nothing happened to China. That means the demand is very high for ROW, India, and other countries except China. EB3, nothing changed. That means it's steady state. Not much higher demand can be seen or is seen by USCIS right now. For 4, retrogression can be seen. That means there is a high demand. For the other workers, nothing much changed except China moved ahead. So that means it's a steady demand right now. Coming to the date of filing charts. Now, date of filing charts, again, if you look at the EB1, it remains same, nothing has changed. For EB2, again, it seems to be pretty much the same, except for, it remains exactly the same. Now for EB3, again, I don't see any change, except I see that people from China can now file their EB3 if their date of filing is within 1st Feb 2019, which was September 18 in the last visa bulletin. For other workers, again, we can see that it has not changed much. It remains almost the same. Similarly, for 4th, it has changed a lot. For 4th, it was 1st March 2022. Now it has moved back to 1st October 2018. So across the board, so changed a lot. Apart from that, what we have learned from the visa bulletin is USCIS is saying that there's a heavy demand for EB2 across all the countries, and specifically for India, ROW, and other like Mexico. And that clearly shows that there would be retrogression. And it might be that this year we do not see any change, or we might see further retrogression. So it would be a good option if you think that your EB2, your priority date is current when you compare it to EB3. It might be a good idea to switch. However, do consult with your attorney to make sure that that is a good change or not. I'm very sad for the people who are in EB2 India, because it's just getting retrogressed further and further. And that brings up the topic that now is the time when you should start thinking about EB1. For some people, it might not be a suitable category, but for some, it might be a good category to try. And that's why I'm bringing an attorney who was previously working as an immigration officer in the USCIS for a year. And she will be coming to the channel pretty soon, and she'll be talking about EB1 and how you can try an EB1 if you have the foundation right. So do check that video out. It will be coming next week, and I hope you like that content. Coming back to the visa bulletin, again, things have changed drastically for certain categories, like other workers in employment-based, EB2 in employment-based, and for F2A, which is family-based, things have retrogressed. However, as I wish and hope that things will come back to normal, things will move to current state pretty soon. But talking about this fiscal year, I don't think there will be much change in EB2 India. Hopefully it will change, it will move ahead. But even if it does, I'm not sure it will reach 2012. So let me know if you have any questions. Please put in the comments any other questions that you have regarding EB1, EB2, or any other employment-based category. I'm very happy to make a video, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have learned something good from this video. If you have, then please like, share, and subscribe. So have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Till then.